We first make our habits. So you got to do the heavy lifting. But as we get into the habits, day 1, day 2, day 10, day 60, all of a sudden it is, in fact, a habit. We just get out of bed in the morning, we do it. Or after lunchtime, we go for that walk. We just do it. And then our habits make us. How you can be the greatest salesperson on the planet. So I got this book, The 10-Minute Energy Solution. And right off the bat, that intrigues me. The 10-Minute Energy Solution, a proven plan. Okay, I like that. To increase your energy. I like that. Reduce your stress. And as I study aging and brain health and all that, stress is a really big thing that affects us in a negative fashion relative to brain health. And transform your life. Sounds like the biblical quote you were talking about earlier. Transform your life. Transformation. Get energized today. So I get this book, and I'm reading the book exactly how you've seen me read books before. There's not much underlining because I'm trying to read it clean, couple, but I'll go back through and read it again, and then I'll do my underlining. But in the meantime, I started the process. And so here's my journal. I started the process. Napoleon Hill in the great book, Think and Grow Rich, says, no matter where you're at, start now. If you only have 5 things on your list, do them now. And of course, you can make the list 10, 15, whatever that would be going forward with expert counsel, but start now. So I've done that. And remember, I'm 68 years old. I had a stroke, a hemorrhagic stroke 2 years ago, 3 brain bleeds. Shoulda, coulda, woulda died. And here I am today. You would think, hey, Jim, come on, you've done this. I read Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill 163 times. Wouldn't you think, hey, you know what, Jim, you've done enough. People tell me that. It's time to back down. No, not for me. My life is all about constant and never-ending improvement. And what do I mean by that? No matter where I'm at right now, can I move in an inch? And that's the goal, to move in an inch. Because once I figure out how to move in an inch, then I already know intuitively that I can move it another inch. And inches add up to feet. They do. 12 inches equals 1 foot. So once I move to a foot, it's like, you know what? I'm going to go for another foot. And this time I did it in 7 days or whatever. I'm going to go for 3 days and accelerate the pace. So anyways, I get this book on energy, and let me get it opened up here. And I just want to show you that's the gratitude journaling. So these are 2 days. And I wrote very simply, I am so happy and grateful for. And I just wrote, what am I happy and grateful for? So that's part of it, right? But let me get to the list. I want to show you my list. Because a lot of people wonder, is this guy the real deal? Let me tell you something. I am the real deal. And I don't give you advice ever that I don't follow myself, ever. If I'm not following it myself, I'm not going to talk about it. If it's not, because I'm not going to give you that advice, because I have to be a product of my own product. So I'm today going to prove to you that I'm taking this book, which is expert counsel, and I'm reading this book. And in here, I have, this makes me cry, my new habits. 68 years old, nutcase. Number 1, replace 1 cup of coffee with 1 cup of green tea. So I have my cup of coffee. We talked about this earlier, just off camera. And in this cup right now is matcha green tea. And what else is in here? Nothing. This is hot water, matcha green tea. It's very hot, by the way. It's burning my hand right now. So it's got to let it go for a while. And I'll be drinking that as I go forward. But there's an example. I was drinking 2 cups, nothing, by the way, drink your 2 cups of coffee. He's not saying that's problematic. It's not. It's okay. As a matter of fact, scientifically, it's proven to be a good thing. I don't know that I'd recommend going beyond 2 cups, and you got to watch the time of the day. But anyways, so I did that. 1 cup of coffee with 1 cup of green tea. Nuts and raisins is number 2. And so everything I've read about nuts in particular, they're crazy good for me. But I tend to not do that and necessarily every day. So I wrote that down yesterday. I don't have any raisins, but I did have a dried mango, which is another version of that kind of a thing. Raisins are dried grapes. Prunes are dried plums. So I haven't had the raisins, but I'm working on, I did the prunes. We're out. And then I found yesterday in our pantry, I found some dried mango. And so I did that along with my nuts. And I did seeds as well, sunflower seeds. Number 3, clean up my closet. He's talking about decluttering some area of your house, your car, your room, whatever. But I've got a closet in my room that has all kinds of crap in it. And I have been doing that. And it's very interesting. So I'm throwing stuff. It's like basically, if you don't touch it for 6 months, get rid of it, throw it out. I'm doing that. And I've got it. I looked in it this morning and it's pretty darn good. I still have some work to do, but I did that. That's number 3. Number 4, listen instead of talking. And I've been working on that as well. That's great sales lesson. Listen more, talk less. And so right now I'm the talker, but I do really try to work on listening to Derek and Luke here, right? Number 5, straighten up instead of slouching forward. And I, as an old guy, 68 years old, I tend to slouch. And so I've been that's a tough one. That's probably the toughest one on this list. Get my shoulders back, tighten up those back muscles, and get my chin up versus slouching. And so when I go out and walk now, I really try to focus on that, okay? Number 6 is gratitude journaling. There's the proof. That's 2 days of gratitude journaling. It's a very neat thing. It just puts you in a great frame of mind. You were talking about the morning routine. I don't do this in the morning typically, but then again, also I'm not doing a career. But that'd be a great idea for you sales professionals. We're talking about 5-10 minutes of just sitting down and writing out the things you're grateful for. It could be something so simple as the car you have right now. Be grateful for the car. Then when you get in the car, it's, oh man, I really love this car. I love my heated seats, for example. Okay. So that's on my list and I'm doing that. And number 7, this is a very interesting one. I haven't done it yet today, but I will because it's on my list. So I've got 7 things on my list. These are my new habits, and I'm not going to move on with the book. I've actually suspended reading the book because I want to get these 7 habits logged in. I figure it's going to take me about 30 days.
Yep.
30 days. And so number 7 is a 10-minute thank you walk. Again, gratitude. So if you listen to what I just said, a lot of this idea behind the plan for increasing your energy is gratitude. And so I was talking the other day about this idea, and somebody said, how do I handle hardships? I said, bless them. What? Bless them. Have you ever had a hardship, Derek?
Oh, absolutely.
Let me finish. Okay.
Okay.
Have you ever had a hardship that you figured out a way to resolve and you ended up so darn good? It's, wow, am I glad that happened? Because look where I am now. Have you ever experienced that?
Yeah.
In 1999, after I really did get it turned around, right around that time frame, 98, 99, I'm not sure the exact date, but around the time frame, I got it turned around. The dealership was making money, had a record year. I think it was 99 was a record year. And then out of the blue, I'm in doing my morning routine. I'm shaving. I'm getting ready to go to the dealership. And Amy, my wife, comes in and says, what's going on with Oldsmobile? I'm like, what do you mean, what's going on with Oldsmobile? I don't know what you're talking about. They're canceling the franchise. I said, no, they're not. I said, you heard it wrong. I just immediately dismissed it. No kidding. And so that was it. Yeah, sure. Okay. I go to the dealership. I walk in, and Doug Green says there's a special meeting. And at that time, it was ASTN. It was a satellite thing. This was back in 99. They said, you have a special meeting. I got it all set up for you. It's a very important meeting. Something's going on. I'm like, oh, crap. Maybe Amy heard right. Massive chill right now. Massive chill, which tells me I'm on the right track. That's my body communicating with me that this is a message that needs to be heard. So I go into the meeting, and sure enough, yeah, Oldsmobile's being canceled. And I was devastated. I cried. I was like, this is my dad. My dad was with Oldsmobile since 1960.
Yeah, and you were selling a lot of Oldsmobiles at that point.
Well, not really, no.
Okay.
We were doing okay. We were selling 130, 140 Oldsmobiles a year, which was really not that great. But we were selling used cars, and we had it figured out. We were doing okay. We had Jeeps as well. We were selling Jeeps. Long story short, the franchise is being canceled. It's over. And I get a phone call from my mentor, Mr. Hamilton. He says, James, what are you going to do? And I'm upset. I'm like, I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah, you feel like, I don't know what's next.
I don't know. I really didn't know. He says, you got to get another franchise. He said, you call, and he tells me this. He was very bossy in a really fabulous way. He says, you call every single dealership around here and try to get a franchise. And so that's what I did. And out of all that, I found Suzuki. But we couldn't make a deal happen. So it was, in my mind, too much money, and I passed. And
so now you're really scared and nervous. Are you still?
No, it's fine. I had it. We were making money. I was okay. Because now we were selling down Oldsmobiles, and that was a great deal. And we were selling Jeeps and used cars. We didn't miss a beat as far as making money is concerned. Right. But still, it's a concern about the future.
Yeah.
I did get another franchise, Daewoo, which I was really pumped up about. And we did a great job with Daewoo. And then they went bankrupt, okay? They literally, Oldsmobile did not go bankrupt. They just pulled up. And Daewoo went bankrupt. Talk about adversity. But in the meantime of all that, I get a phone call from the guy that I was talking to about Suzuki. And he said, "Are you still interested in Suzuki?" I said, and he asked me to spend more money. I said, "No, I'm not gonna do that." I said, "I'm good. I got Jeep. I got used cars, selling down this and that, I'm okay." I said, "No, I wouldn't. I would not spend more money." He says to me, "Okay, I guess we got a deal." I'm like, "What? What do you mean we got a deal?" And he says, and I'm a man of my word. And so I get my sons and my son-in-law, and I get them all upstairs. This was in the evening. I said to them, I said, "Looks like we're going to be a Suzuki dealer." And I was dejected. I didn't know that I wanted to do this. And they were all jacked up. And them being jacked up got me jacked up. And so we pushed ahead, and now we're a Suzuki dealer. So we were selling about 130 Oldsmobiles a year. And my best year was Suzuki. What do you think? 130 Oldsmobiles. You got that number, right? What do you think my best year with Suzuki was?
1,200.
1,300.
Wow.
And I can remember hands together saying, "Thank you." Because if Oldsmobile hadn't done what they did, I'd be selling 130 Oldsmobiles a year, maybe 160, maybe 200. I wouldn't be selling 1,300, I promise you. And we really did well. So Suzuki was such a great thing. And it's still leading the boys and girls, my children, and everybody's involved, the team, the Jim Shorkey team, to bigger opportunities. Because people still talk about it. These people sold more Suzukis than all these other dealers. Why? Because they're good dealers. And so that's what we did. And so they literally were in a meeting the other day with an opportunity, and that was the topic of conversation. And whether that opportunity comes to fruition or not, who knows? But they were in the meeting. And how did I get off on that tangent, by the way?
No, I think you're honing the lesson of the importance of failure and learning from those failure moments.
You want to avoid failure. Don't misinterpret that. You don't want to go out looking for failure. You want to seek expert counsel to get the right steps in and follow those right steps. And ideally, you would never fail. But when you do fail, you got to stand back, take a deep breath, and really think it through, and then seek expert counsel to find out, how do I pivot out of this scenario? So, yeah, the attitude of gratitude, if you handle the scenario the right way, you will learn that some of these misfortunes really are a blessing. And just for example, my stroke, it was really bad. Should have, could have, would have died. 3 brain bleeds, excuse me. The family was just total turmoil. They really thought I was going to die. People that knew what was going on thought I was going to die. It was very obvious. I got a major chill right now, which tells me I'm on the right track here. And so I went to work on seek expert counsel to figure out, how do I go forward? And I did that. All kinds of lists, and did that. And I do physical therapy 3 times a week. And I walk. Since I got out of the hospital, the average steps I've walked per day, 13,000. I can prove it. It's in my phone from my Garmin watch right here. And 13,000, like 13.1. And where did I get that idea at? I was laying in a hospital bed. I was in a lot of pain. And I always ask this question, no matter what. I always ask this question when I'm confronted with an obstacle. I said to Dr. Rosales, who was the surgeon, who I'm jacked up, right? I said, "Dr. Rosales, how do I fix this thing?" He says, "Jim." Actually, he poked his indoors and said, "Jim, you in pain?" I said, "Oh my God, I am in so much pain. I couldn't sneeze without a pillow. I couldn't cough without a pillow. I couldn't clear my throat without putting a pillow around my belly." I said, "I'm in a lot of pain, doc." I said, "What can I do to fix this?" He said, "Walk a lot." That's what I did.
Wow.
And here I am. Look at me.
Wow.
Look at this.
Yeah.
My brain is directing these hands. This is a flawed brain. 3 brain bleeds, brain damage. Okay. I've worked very hard on improving my cognition, and here I am.
Wow. Jim, thank you for diving into how you took that book, that energy book, how you got those habits. If you're a salesperson, what are the habits you should be doing? Jim gives you some examples, and then taking that a layer deeper and talking about when you have setbacks, right? We teach about that in Rethink You 2.0. When you face setbacks, what do you do? And you really went into not just like the practicals of here's what you do. You told the story of what you actually did in those moments of hardship, in those sufferings. So if you were a salesperson, you're trying to figure out What are the habits I need to do? How do I overcome failure? I think Jim laid out really clearly what that looks like. Jim, thank you. And guys, thank you for joining us. Again, comment, subscribe. Let us know in the comments below which one of those stories hit your heart and what are you going to do about it?
And do a favor for me. Get you some green tea today. It's a really good idea. Get some green tea. It just is. And so John Gordon is telling me to do that, and I'm doing that. And you know what? That's the secret to success. Mr. Hamilton gave me a list of 10 things. When I looked at the list, I wasn't doing any of them. And I started doing a list, and the thing shifted like almost not overnight. It was a period of days, weeks, months, 6 months kind of thing, but it definitely moved. Yeah. So there we are.
Wow.
Peace.
Thank you, Jim.
Peace.
Thank you, guys.